I am the orphan fostered by the Lin family. The elders of the Lin family asked Benjamin to marry me. I happily married Benjamin. He did not refuse either. But after the marriage, he was indifferent to me. Later, he simply used business trips as an excuse to live apart from me for long periods. My mother-in-law blamed me for not giving the Lin family descendants. She constantly gave me a hard time. My entire life was spent waiting for Benjamin and taking care of my mother-in-law. Exhausted, I lay on the hospital bed. As my husband, Benjamin did not come to see me one last time. However, Susanna kindly told me, Benjamin is preparing for his wedding with her. No time to see me. Benja said. We'll have the wedding right after her die. Olivia, you've been Mrs. Lin for over 30 years. The kids and I have no status. You should be content. I only found out that Benjamin has another family outside. He has a lover and children. Only I am all alone. When I opened my eyes again, I was back at the Lin house. Benjamin's mother was still teasing. Olivia, do you like our Benjamin? No longer like it. In this life, I want to do what I truly love. The smell of disinfectant from the hospital still seems to linger at the tip of my nose. The torment of illness remains. In front of me, Benjamin's mother, who was my mother-in-law in my past life, is asking, Olivia, do you like our Benjamin? After graduation, how about marrying Benja? In the living room, there are the Lin family and friends of my parents from when they were alive. The woman is so kind and gentle, warm and loving, completely unlike the difficult and ruthless person in my past life memories. Because Benjamin and I are often apart, there's no chance for me to get pregnant. She finds ways to torment me. The unbearably bitter pregnancy-preserving medicine is forced on me daily. She invited the goddess of fertility, commanding me to kneel before her every day, chanting and praying. That's not even the worst of it. The daily passive-aggressive remarks are suffocating. Not to mention Lin's mother demands I personally serve her tea, water, and give her massages whenever I have the intention to resist. She then cried her heart out, lamenting the hardships of raising me. An orphan. She said she raised me as her own daughter. She said that when I had nightmares as a child, she would hold me and comfort me. She said that when I was sick as a child, she took care of me without rest. This is my Achilles heel. So I did not resist. Olivia, don't be shy. Speak up. Lin's mother nudged me. I came back to my senses and met the woman's eyes, which were filled with restrained urgency. If my past life self could have observed more carefully, I would have discovered that this urgency was to match me with Benjamin. Are you in a hurry to divide my property? At that time, I was just a young lady who had been pampered since childhood. I had just experienced the major blow of losing both parents, and thought I found family and solace in the Lin family. How could I have thought of so much? But now, having gone through more than 30 years of a marriage in name only, having endured the torment of Lin's mother tearing off her disguise, I see everything very clearly now. So I stand up and smile. Madam, it seems you have misunderstood. I only see Benjamin as a brother. And after graduating high school, I still plan to attend university. Lin's mother's face suddenly turned pale. Today, in front of everyone, they asked me if I like Benjamin. It was originally to confirm my marriage with Benjamin. This way, urging me to spend the assets under my name wouldn't be criticized by others. Lin's mother quickly reacted. She naturally stood up and hugged me, saying to everyone, "This girl is just shy. Benja, take Olivia for a walk in the garden." Benjamin was sitting on the sofa opposite. The young Benjamin. Young, handsome, somewhat aloof. Because Lin's father is a friend of my parents, Benjamin and I are barely childhood friends. Since childhood, I liked to follow him around and make him play with me. When we were young, our relationship was quite good. As we grew up, Benjamin became somewhat distant from me. In my past life, I didn't understand and thought it was just because we were getting older and needed to be mindful of gender issues. Yet I was unwilling to consider that Benjamin was actually annoyed by me. I am a somewhat proud young lady with a bad temper. He, however, had to obey his parents' orders and comply with my every word. I don't like it. Yet I can't shake it off. Benjamin is naturally annoyed. If he ignores me, so be it. But instead, he married me. He married me. Yet let his mother torment me. He married me. Yet is affectionate with Susanna outside. I hate him. I hate myself even more. Blinded by emotions, leading to such a bleak existence. I clenched my fist, then slowly released it, gently breaking free from Lynn's embrace. I still wore a radiant smile. No need. You still have to meet Susanna classmate later. If you like someone, you should bring them home early. Among the guests, someone said, Benjamin has someone he likes. Yet your mom is still matchmaking randomly. It was at this moment that I finally looked directly at Benjamin. His face was even paler than Lynn's mother. The corners of his eyes were slightly red. I was too lazy to look any further. Greeted everyone present, and left on my own. Leaving the living room, I went straight to the mailbox in the front yard to search. In the letters, I finally saw the one addressed to me. Olivia. Benjamin's voice came from behind me. I quickly turned around and hid the letter behind my back. What kind of mood are you in today? I frowned. What's wrong? Yesterday you confessed to me. And today you say you see me as a brother. Can you stop being so impulsive? My mom treats you like a daughter. And you embarrassed her in public. I silently looked at him. I thought of my past life. After marriage, Lynn's mother also embarrassed me in public. I merely complained to Benjamin for a moment, and it brought about his resentment. He said, hasn't my mom been good enough to you? Can't take a few words. So now I return this sentence to him. Madam treats me like a daughter. But the daughter can't speak a few heartfelt words. He was speechless. He sighed. You're acting strange. In his view, I was naturally acting strange. After all, in my past life, after my parents passed away, I truly regarded the Lynn family as my home. I changed my formerly arrogant and proud nature. Not only did Lynn get a few harsh words, but even with Benjamin, there was a cautious effort to please. I sneered. So, what are you upset about again? Didn't you hate me chasing after you? So I said I don't like you. Just as you wished. After saying that, I wanted to leave. I still need to open the letter in my hand. Benjamin said. I didn't. That's not important. None of that matters. Benjamin. Whether you love me or not. It doesn't matter. Upon hearing this, Benjamin frowned. Even saying nice things doesn't work. Olivia. You're still so difficult to get along with. With my parents gone, I have no support. Therefore, Benjamin's attitude towards me has greatly changed. Once afraid to speak loudly, now he says to my face that I'm difficult to get along with. Am I difficult to get along with? It's just that I didn't follow his ideas. What he calls speaking nicely is merely an attempt to stabilize me first. Ideally, to coax me into getting engaged to him. In my past life, after getting engaged, he immediately used the excuse of needing funds for the company's business expansion to make me put up most of my assets to pave the way for him. At this time, private enterprises were opening up. Opportunities to make a fortune were everywhere. With my help, Benjamin took over the real estate and food businesses in City C, becoming the richest man in the area. In a marriage of over 30 years, I lived as a widow. Everyone envies me for being the wife of the richest man. Yet they don't know that without me, Olivia, he, Benjamin, would never have reached such heights. In this life, let me stand at the pinnacle, overlooking the Lynn family's clowns. Let them revel in their madness and bring about their own downfall. Too lazy to say more. I smile. I am difficult to get along with. So what? If you don't like it, keep it to yourself. Returning to the room, I eagerly opened the letter. I actually have another uncle. He and my mother share the same father but different mothers. And he now resides in the United Kingdom. I met this uncle once. At that time, he came to our house seeking help to treat his elderly mother. My parents provided a lot of assistance and even recommended a good hospital. Later, our two families occasionally kept in touch. In recent years, we lost contact. In my past life, I didn't know that my uncle went abroad for the gold rush and accidentally became wealthy. He learned about my parents' death in a car accident a year later. He found out that I was adopted by the Lin family. So he wrote a letter to contact me. The letter was sent to the original home and then forwarded to the Lin family's mailbox. Mother Lin always knew there was a letter for me, but she chose to keep it hidden and said nothing. It was only many years later that I learned. Uncle had been sending me money and letters. But by then, it was too late. After reading the letter, I learned that Uncle couldn't return to the country for certain reasons. So he chose to keep in touch by writing letters. The letter said this was the 10th one he had written. And its content was no different from the previous ones. It was just about introducing his situation abroad and then comforting me. He asked if I was willing to go to United Kingdom. At that time, the United Kingdom was very advanced. It had the top education and professions of the time. The letter contained 10 large denomination US dollars and a plane ticket to the United Kingdom. Nose tingling with emotion. It's great. I'm not an orphan. I still have family. The boarding location is next door Shanghai. And the date is 4 days later. I pulled myself together. Next, I need to handle the inheritance left by my parents. The real estate will remain untouched. These locations are good and have the potential to appreciate in value. I want to keep the money in separate accounts. Half will be taken abroad, and half will stay in the bank. Also, I don't really know my uncle. Therefore, I need to ensure safety before contacting my uncle's family. Fortunately, the college entrance exam is over. I used visiting classmates as an excuse to go out. It's also convenient to handle things. I happened to meet a classmate at the bank. And they exclaimed with joy. We were just looking for you. Come on. Class reunion. The reunion was held at the largest KTV in the city. At that time, karaoke was still a very trendy activity. When I arrived, Benjamin was also there. Someone joked. What? Olivia didn't come with you today. Where's your little wife? Benjamin fiddled with a lighter. I'm so annoyed. I'm glad she's not here. I can enjoy some peace. Besides, I don't like Olivia. The laughter of the crowd rose and fell. Who do you like? The class beauty. People were making a commotion. Pushed Susanna towards Benjamin. The girl beside me was a bit embarrassed and coughed twice. The colorful lights flickered. And only then did the crowd notice me. I walked confidently to the crowd and said, what a lively scene. Carry on. Benjamin instinctively shielded Susanna. Olivia. What tricks are you up to again? Playing tricks. I wished I could just stab the two of them to death. But now, none of it has happened. If I were to say that in my past life I was miserably harmed by these two people, who would believe me? I laughed. Benjamin. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you hated me? You're such a coward. Clapping my hands. I said. Fine. If I'm not welcome, I'll leave. Everyone didn't react in time. I had already pushed the door open and left. Benjamin followed closely behind. Olivia. Listen to me. Oh no. Susanna has fainted. Exclamations from classmates came from behind. Benjamin hurriedly left me. Olivia. What I said earlier was just out of anger. I'll explain it to you later. He hadn't finished speaking when he was already eagerly rushing to Susanna's place. I looked on coldly. Then turned and left resolutely. There will be no more chances to explain. In 3 days, I will go to the United Kingdom. From now on, I will no longer think of you. And you should not think of me either. The next day, I tidied up the room. Throw away what needs to be thrown away. Lynn's mother came over, subtly asking which university I was applying to. Of course, I wouldn't tell her about studying abroad. I casually mentioned the name of Shanghai University to brush it off. Lynn's mother praised Shanghai University while rolling her eyes and brought up Benjamin's marriage again. You can get engaged first. It won't delay you and Benja from going to university. I hadn't yet spoken my words of refusal. Lynn's mother changed the subject. Comforting me, I've already asked Benja about it. He and that Susanna are just ordinary classmates. You just like to overthink. Still unwilling to give up. Huh. I distanced myself from Lynn's mother, madam. I'm really not interested in Benjamin. Lynn's mother still didn't believe me and hurriedly assured. Good child. I will definitely make Benja cut ties with that female classmate completely. These words were overheard by Benjamin at just the right moment. He didn't understand the situation and walked up to me in a few steps. The look in his eyes was full of disappointment and disgust. Young lady. Do you need everyone to revolve around you? Susanna is weak. And her family is not well off. So I took extra care of her. Do you have to make it known to the whole world and even complain to my mom? He yanked the crystal necklace in his hand as if venting his anger. The crystal beads clattered to the ground. They rolled away in all directions, disappearing from sight. I originally wanted to give it to you as an apology. But now it seems unnecessary. I'll tell you clearly. There's nothing between me and Susanna. I won't distance myself from her because of you either. After Benjamin vented his anger at me, he kicked open the trash can I used for waste disposal at the door. The trash can fell to the ground with a clatter, spilling out a jumble of items. Dolls and small trinkets rolled out one by one. Benjamin's eyes suddenly turned red. These are all gifts I gave you. Well, I don't like them anymore. So I threw them away. Saying this, I kicked away the crystal bead that rolled to my feet. Obstructive things. In 2 days, I'll be boarding a plane to the United Kingdom. The distance from City C to Shanghai is not short. I have to go to Shanghai early. The passport was prepared earlier for traveling abroad. I don't have many belongings. Valuable jewelry and property. Deeds are stored in a bank safe. Coincidentally, Lynn's father and Lynn's mother are going to another city for business. So I won't say goodbye to them in person. They have indeed taken care of me for many years. But it was only for the inheritance. The money sent by uncle was pocketed by Lynn's mother. It was enough for my living expenses over the years. When I was leaving with my small suitcase, I ran into Benjamin and Susanna in the downstairs lounge. The two seemed to have just returned from outside. The small suitcase in my hand caught Benjamin's attention. He asked, "Where are you going?" "Going to complain to my mom again." Not interested. I gestured for the two to step aside. "I'm going to a classmate's house to play. Madam and the others all know." I wasn't lying about that. I did tell Lynn's mother that I would be playing at a classmate's house for 2 days. Benjamin was still sulking and said indifferently, "Come back by yourself then. I won't pick you up." "It doesn't matter." Unnoticed, Susanna suddenly leaned over. Her tone pitiful. "Olivia, classmate. I was just kicked out by my family and have nowhere to go. Benjamin kindly took me in. I heard from Mrs. Lynn that you were upset with Benjamin because of me. I'm sorry." No need to apologize to her. Benjamin grasped Susanna's wrist. "If it weren't for her loose tongue, my mom wouldn't have bothered you. Truly a mutual affection. I found it very meaningless." And continued walking forward. Behind me, Susanna's weak and pitiful voice continued. "Benjamin. Do you want to comfort Fong? The classmate. Don't worry about her. She has nowhere to go. She'll come back sooner or later." Benjamin spoke with certainty, with coldness and disdain. I paused for a moment, then quickly continued walking forward. "It turns out their family bullied me because they thought I had nowhere to go. It's okay. When we meet again, I'll let you experience what it's like to have nowhere to go." The first day Olivia left, Benjamin didn't feel anything. The next day, he irritably asked the household staff, "Has the young lady not returned yet?" The servant shook his head. The young man's handsome brows furrowed deeply. Such a young lady's temper. If she likes staying outside, she might as well never come back. After harshly speaking, he questioned the servant again. "Did the young lady say which classmate's house she went to?" The servant still shook his head. Benjamin felt even more annoyed. It was as if a stone was pressing down on him, making it hard for him to breathe. Passing by Olivia's room, by the broad-leaved potted plant near the door, something seemed to be flickering. What was he thinking? He bent down to pick it up. It was a solitary crystal bead. Benjamin was a bit dazed. Then he squatted down, inexplicably wanting to see if there were any other beads. A trace of regret rose in his heart. How did he manage to break the necklace? This was clearly the graduation gift he wanted to give to Olivia. Shiny accessories were Olivia's favorites. He had always known that. Olivia was ill-tempered. But she had become much more restrained after losing her parents. He knew that too. Why did you have to upset her? He thought. When Olivia comes back, he would just apologize sincerely. However, he waited 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. And still there was no sign of Olivia coming home. The unease in his heart reached its peak. He started calling classmates who were close to Olivia. The answers he received were all that they hadn't seen Olivia. He didn't believe it. He went searching from house to house. Still, there was no trace of Olivia. Until he opened Olivia's bedroom door. The room, once warmly decorated, had no trace of the stuffed animals he had given her. Olivia's clothes and shoes were all gone. The room suddenly felt much more spacious. Benjamin searched the room hurriedly, trying to find traces of Olivia Hess' life here. But he only found a piece of letter paper pressed under a book on the desk. I have left. Mr. and Mrs. Do not worry. Only a few words. Yet not a single punctuation mark mentioned Benjamin. After the plane landed, I did not immediately call the contact number my uncle gave me. Instead, I hired a detective to look into my uncle's family situation. No need to go too deep. Just a simple understanding of whether the family is harmonious. And so on. I think there is no family that is chaotic by nature, willing to accept a stranger as a relative. Fortunately, the news I received is that Uncle has a rather large farm in a certain state. Uncle has a good reputation locally, with a simple family and harmonious relationships. I am also prepared for the worst. If Uncle is unreliable, I can study in the United Kingdom myself. It's no big deal. After completing my research and buying gifts for everyone, I contacted Uncle. When he learned that I had arrived, he immediately came to pick me up. 3 days later, I finally arrived at my uncle's farm. My uncle is more than 10 years older than my mother, due to his early gold rush experiences and exposure to the elements. He looks even older. He is not good with words, especially when facing me. He just sighs. You really resemble your mother. Then he gave me a card and told me to spend freely. He took me to ride the farm's horses and allowed me to tease his big dog. My aunt, on the other hand, is a slightly plump white woman. She can make excellent desserts. To be honest, the desserts are delicious. But eating too much of them is really overwhelming. But she was too enthusiastic. She kept making me snacks in various ways. Uncle's son is also married. And his spouse is an American Chinese. Thanks to this brother and sister-in-law, I can still eat some Chinese food. Uncle's daughter is only 1 year older than me. Sister saw my conservative outfit and shook her head exaggeratedly. Oh my. Don't let ugly clothes insult your perfect figure. Okay. Then she took me to the city for a shopping spree. With her around, I quickly integrated into the local young crowd. After the summer vacation, it's time to go to university. With my uncle's connections, I went directly to my sister's university. I chose a major in finance. Nothing else. Just the experiences from my past life, combined with my current financial capital. It's enough for me to make a career. Life in the United Kingdom. Warmer than I imagined. During holidays, I played wildly on the farm and helped with odd jobs. At school, I attended lectures and did assignments with classmates from all over the world. In my sophomore year, after conducting thorough research, I decided to start with some import-export trade business for practice. I talked with my uncle. He didn't deny my decision. Instead, he asked if I had enough money and if I wanted him to introduce me to a few bosses. Having someone to guide you is certainly better, as it helps avoid detours. But for a novice like me, taking a few detours isn't a big deal. I'm still young, with time and money, and I can afford the cost of trial and error. So, I and 3 other classmates from the Class invested in starting a small company. We exported clothing and food from the United Kingdom to neighboring countries. A year later, in my junior year, the company made a small profit. However, each classmate had their own thoughts. Some wanted to make money and start their own business. There were also those who felt the company's profits were unstable and decided to leave. Just like that, the company was announced to be dissolved. Starting the company gave me a lot of experience. If I were the source factory for import and export products, I would earn more, make plans again, do research, and prepare to start a company again before graduation. In my spare time, I used the money I earned to buy my uncle a car. I bought an apartment near the school for myself and lived with my sister. In the apartment, I adopted many stray cats, disabled or healthy. I took them all in. When the sunlight spills onto the balcony, these furry creatures curl up into a ball, curled up at my feet, sleeping. I petted this one, teased that one, and in a daze, I recalled my past life. I really like cats. And after much persuasion, I finally got Benjamin to buy a little Siamese. Just brought it home. Lin father and Lin mother were extremely displeased. They said the cat would affect pregnant women. You can't get pregnant anyway. And you still keep this thing. Bad luck. The little Siamese didn't even know what it did wrong. It huddled in my arms, feeling wronged. I had no choice but to entrust it to a classmate who also loves cats, give money and goods, and visit regularly. Thinking, I picked up a long-haired orange cat. It seems like I haven't thought about my past life or Benjamin and his family for a long time. After all, I'm quite happy now. No need to recall dirty things. Second semester of junior year. My new company was established. Engaged in the dairy business. From raising dairy cows to processing dairy products. I will improve the supply chain step by step. Finally, in the year I graduated, the production chain was fully completed. Thus, I can significantly reduce costs. Whether it's business in the United Kingdom or export business, I have the confidence to negotiate prices with the other party. After everything stabilized, I proposed to go back to my country for a visit. Uncle naturally did not stop me. Sister accompanied me back to my country. As soon as I landed, my blonde-haired, blue-eyed partner Andrew came up to me with a bouquet of roses. He is the kind of very typical handsome white guy. He also speaks Chinese very well. Olivia, are you surprised? I was speechless. Weren't you supposed to discuss the land deal? If you came along, who will handle it? His blue eyes flashed. In your heart, I'm not as important as the company. Right. Of course. Don't pretend to be pitiful. Sister covered her mouth and laughed beside me. This one is as handsome as your bodyguard. Then she secretly gave Andrew a thumbs up. Good luck. Encouraged, Andrew confidently ran over to help me with my suitcase. But before he could touch the suitcase, another tall figure stood by my side, casually pulling up the handle, and gentlemanly held up an umbrella for us. The forearm muscles in front of me were firm, faintly seeing the outline of veins under the tanned skin. The private car has been arranged. Boss. Marco's voice was rather cold, but his tone was quite gentle. Looking up, the man's black hair and black eyes came into view. There was no expression on his face. He just stood in front of Andrew, as if he hadn't noticed him at all. Childish, I muttered to myself as I got into the car. There have been significant changes in the country. First, go to the parents' graves to pay respects. When I arrived, a withered white chrysanthemum was rustling in the wind in front of my parents' tombstone. It was probably left by a friend of my parents from when they were alive. I moved the chrysanthemum aside and placed my own bouquet. Talk to my parents about life abroad. Talk about how my uncle takes care of me. My aunt's excellent cooking skills limited to desserts. The unreliable stories of my brother and sister-in-law taking care of the newborn. As for myself, everything is quite good. Having relatives to rely on, graduating as an outstanding student, and meeting many like-minded friends in business. Don't worry. I take good care of myself. It's raining. Raindrops slide into my mouth. Salty. After the group finished the memorial, they walked out of the cemetery. Andrew held an umbrella for sister. Marco walked alongside me. We happened to pass by a man and a woman. The man was holding a bouquet of white chrysanthemums. The woman chased after him with an umbrella. But her words were somewhat harsh. Even if you come every day, you won't meet Olivia. I'm pregnant. Why can't you consider my feelings? A familiar yet strange female voice. I instinctively turned my head to look. Who else could this man and woman be but Benjamin and Susanna? Sister and Andrew and the others looked at me when they heard my name mentioned. I shook my head, indicating not to bother. Susanna kept talking. Benjamin abruptly stopped, turned around, grabbed her umbrella, and threw it away. Can you let me have some peace? You're really annoying. Susanna screamed and nearly fell, seeing the two of them about to have a big argument in front of my parents' graves. I quickly asked the cemetery management to handle it. As for why I didn't appear directly in front of Benjamin, it's because I returned to the country not for him. I am interested in the current real estate market. Coming back to discuss business. Let's not get involved in bad luck. Quite unfortunate. When visiting the old house, I ran into an elder. He is an old family friend of my parents and the Lynn family. He quickly called to inform Lynn's mother about my return to the country. Lynn's mother was very excited and asked me to wait for her there. You child. Why didn't you tell Madam when you came back? Madam was so worried about you. Wait for me to pick you up. No. Madam. I have other things to do. I hung up the phone proactively. Returned the mobile phone to the elder. By the time Lynn's mother and son arrived, our group had already taken a car to a hotel in the city. In the evening, I will attend a banquet, meet with a few developers from City C, discuss cooperation matters. The banquet was quite grand. Our group is used to toasting and drinking in the United Kingdom, so we are at ease here as well. During the banquet, I had a pleasant conversation with several bosses. This was partly because I indeed have my own views on doing business, and partly because many of them have a slight acquaintance with my parents. I have both connections and economic resources. The business discussions went smoothly as well. The banquet was halfway through. However, there was some commotion at the entrance of the hall. The host Mr. Zhao was displeased and asked what happened. Boss Lin didn't have an invitation and insisted on barging in. Mr. Zhao looked at me, naturally aware that I was once taken in by the Lin family. He smiled and said, "It's just negligence on the part of the staff. They forgot to send Boss Lin an invitation. Please let him in." I maintained a calm demeanor. Inwardly, I found it amusing. What do you mean? Forgot to send an invitation? It's just that they look down on the Lin family's status. Without my financial support, the Lin family's small company would struggle to survive. Due to various policy changes, the company is even on the verge of bankruptcy. In such a situation, who would still be willing to bother with the Lin family? I didn't stop Mr. Zhao from letting people in. After all, outsiders don't know about the grievances between me and the Lin family. If it gets out, they'll say I'm ungrateful. That wouldn't be very good. On the surface, still maintain decorum. Benjamin's gaze locked onto me in an instant. He was wearing a slightly worn bespoke suit. Due to the earlier scuffle, it had become somewhat wrinkled. Without bothering to tidy it up, he strode towards me. "Olivia, you're finally back." The eagerness in his eyes was like a light igniting. His once lifeless eyes were now sparkling. I didn't move. Just a second before Benjamin came closer. 3 people stood by my side. Sister frowned. "Who are you?" Andrew put his hands on his hips. "Another one." Marco quietly rolled up his sleeves and took off the watch on his wrist. "Me. We are legitimate business people." "Ollie. Via." Benjamin's eyes suddenly turned red. "Why?" "I don't plan to reminisce with him. Long time no see. I still have things to do." "Make yourself at home." Behind Benjamin, Lynn's mother followed closely. She, relying on her age, shamelessly squeezed over. "Olivia. You child. How could you just leave without a word back then? Where have you been all these years?" Blocking my way. She started to wipe her tears. I gradually broke free from her. Madam. The letters my uncle sent back. You received them all. Why didn't you tell me? Besides, when I left, I did leave a note. Everyone present was shrewd. After I finished these 2 sentences, everyone probably knew what had happened. It was nothing more than Lynn's mother hiding my uncle's letters, trying to stop me from finding my relatives. Doing this kind of thing is never because they like me too much. It's because they like the property under my name too much. No need to explain. As long as you know. Lynn's mother immediately stopped crying. She chuckled awkwardly. Olivia. Don't be angry. How would I know if it's a scam? By the way, after you left, Benjamin looked for you for a long time. You two should catch up. As she spoke, she forcibly pulled Benjamin to my side. Benjamin didn't speak, just stared at me with red eyes. His gaze made me very uncomfortable. Frowning, Marco came over and told Benjamin to keep some distance from me. The boss doesn't like people getting too close. Andrew stood on the other side. Hey, even someone as handsome as me couldn't win her over. So you better give up. Benjamin wasn't looking at the two of them. He stared at me and asked, why are you leaving? Do you know how long I've been looking for you? I shook my head. I don't know. And I don't want to know. Benjamin choked up. He took a crystal necklace out of his pocket. I fixed this. That day I went to find you. It was to make up with you. Olivia. I will never be confused again in the future. He spoke with such genuine emotion, his eyes shimmering with tears. Andrew glanced at the crystal necklace and laughed. I said, can something so worthless be given as a gift? Benjamin looked deeply at me. I will get you anything you want. I beg you. Don't ignore me. I never care about the value of a gift. In the past, the stuffed dolls that Benjamin casually gave me would make me happy for a long time. Happiness comes from being happy because of someone you like. Now, not to mention liking Benjamin, I don't even bother to waste feelings of dislike on him. He is too weak. Setting aside the emotions that blinded me in my past life, he is not worthy of being my opponent at all. I still admire your rebellious nature. I smiled. You think you have control over me, which is quite amusing. Olivia. Those were just words spoken in anger. He hurriedly explained. I thought. Oh. It doesn't matter. I took a glass of champagne from the waiter and said indifferently. Does your wife know you're meeting me? Don't delay my business talks. Okay. Benjamin's lips quivered, as if he had suffered a great blow. In my past life, I wished I had spoken one more sentence to him. He just said, don't delay his work. His work was to toil night after night with Susanna, raising children, the whole family, living happily. Seeing that I was about to leave, Benjamin panicked. Don't go. Can we start over? This time, I didn't get a chance to speak. My sister splashed a drink in his face. Shameless. You dare to flirt with my sister while having a wife. This time, Benjamin's face turned pale. I didn't mean to hide the fact that I'm married. Olivia. I just want to win you back. Please don't be angry. It was an accident between Susanna and me. She drugged me. And that's why I made a mistake. For so many years, I have remained faithful to you. Wait a minute. Don't insult the phrase faithful like that. Okay. What do I have to be angry about? In the end, the Lin mother and son were still invited out by Mr. Zhao. After the banquet ended, Benjamin was still waiting to see me. Unexpectedly, Susanna came rushing in with a big belly, punching and kicking him. I'm carrying the Lin family's child. And you still can't forget about another woman. Are you even human? Pregnant women are naturally prone to irritability. Benjamin not only didn't comfort her, but also found her loud shouting annoying. Told her to get back home. The two of them ended up fighting. Then, Susanna was pushed down by Lin's mother. Crimson liquid trickled down her leg. I averted my gaze and got into the car. Benjamin left his wife, who needed to be taken to the hospital, and chased after my car. He kept calling my name. So devoted. Huh. My sister said with a look of disdain. What a jerk. I corrected her. It's not infatuation with me. It's an attempt to use past feelings to move me to get me to help the Lin family. He's the kind of person who only loves himself. The cooperation talks were relatively successful. I will join Mr. Zhao and others in investing to host the largest emerging mall in City C. Due to the preliminary preparation work, I still need to stay in the country for a while. Andrew returned home first. Before leaving, he repeatedly reminded me, in your country, there's an old saying that goes, a good horse doesn't turn back to graze on old pastures. Don't reconcile with that guy. Also, even a bodyguard is out of the question. His monthly salary can't even buy your watch. The muscles are so big. It looks like you can fight. Marco walked over silently. Boss. I also have a martial arts school. With a monthly profit of. I rolled my eyes at the two of them. I'll buy it myself. Right now. I just want to make money. If you delay my money making, I'll fire all of you. Andrew glared at Marco and boarded the plane angrily. Marco quietly pulled down his sleeves. He seemed to want to cover his muscles. But with his broad shoulders and narrow waist, he could hide his arms but not his solid chest muscles. Childish. Benjamin came to see me a few times. Later, he was overwhelmed and gave up. After Susanna's miscarriage, her relatives from her hometown swarmed in. They rushed to City C to demand an explanation from Benjamin. The Lin family company's profits were already dismal. After being disrupted by Susanna's relatives, it directly declared bankruptcy. They even hired a very good lawyer to help Susanna file for divorce from Benjamin. Susanna obtained most of the remaining assets of the Lin family. Lin's father, due to the bankruptcy, hanged himself at the company's former site. Lin's mother, on the other hand, was so traumatized that she became mentally unstable. Every day, she talks to the air, lecturing an imaginary daughter-in-law. If you don't take the medicine, how will you give my family a son? If you don't kneel to the Buddha, how will you give Benja a son? Later, Lin's mother went to the street, making a scene. She was hit by passing vehicles. And thus, she was bedridden, paralyzed. Benjamin begged Susanna for some money to treat his mother's illness. Most of Susanna's money went into the pockets of relatives, leaving nothing to spare. Moreover, Susanna harbored resentment towards the Lin family and wouldn't help even if she had money. The two of them started arguing again. This time, Benjamin blamed all his misfortunes on Susanna. During the fight, a knife was involved, directly causing Susanna's death. Benjamin was quickly apprehended, and I, very kindly, went to the hospital to visit Lin's mother. Incidentally, I paid her medical bills. Everyone praised me for being loyal and righteous. But they didn't know that I hired the worst caregiver for her. She soon developed bed sores all over her body. Her whole body reeked. Standing by her side, I smiled and watched her. Madam, you have memories of your past life, don't you? When you were tormenting me, did you ever think that one day you would fall into my hands? You clearly knew that Benjamin had someone outside. Yet you still blamed me for not being able to have children. While I was drinking medicine and being punished to kneel, you were enjoying family happiness with Susanna's child. You should taste my pain too. Lin's mother glared with wide eyes, waving her hands. Yet she couldn't even touch my sleeve. She could only open her mouth, drooling. In her eyes, there was nothing but unwillingness. I won't let her die. And so, living on in such a wretched state, Benjamin requested to see me before his execution. I agreed. Facing me, he cried and confessed. He said that many memories that didn't belong to him surged in his mind. He saw that his indifference to me in a past life led to my lifetime of loneliness. Can you forgive me? I love you. The reason I refused to face my own heart is because I wanted to break free from my parents' control. I always listened to them. But when they told me to love you, I lost my head and wanted to do the opposite. How childish. I've lost everything now. He sobbed. I shook my head. He actually laughed. It's fine. Hate me if you want. This life of mine is so miserable. Let's just call it my retribution. Now it was my turn to laugh uncontrollably. Retribution. How could there be such a convenient retribution? On the glass window, My somewhat excited eyebrows and eyes were reflected. Do you think your company's downfall was solely due to the environment? Do you think it was just a coincidence that Susanna found the location of the banquet? Do you think she miscarried so easily? Can those relatives in the village still find her a top-notch legal team? Benjamin's face gradually turned pale, until there wasn't a trace of color left. However, his eyes were bloodshot. Do you hate me this much? Why wouldn't I hate you? In my past life, I never did anything that harmed others. Yet I ended up living neither as a human nor a ghost. All because the Lin family coveted my wealth. They ruined my entire life. In this life, I've only made a few small moves. I've already been very merciful. Those choices are just the choices of Lin's own family. I stood up. And the last words I left for Benjamin were, I will bring the news of your execution to your mother. I walked out of the prison and got into the special car. The black sedan moved through the curtain of rain. The newly designated commercial area already has the prototype of towering buildings. The future that belongs to me is coming.